really known for the luxurious vacations, their wonderful weather, and very beautiful women. And another thing that's really beautiful about Mexico is their families. Families in Mexico is very centered to the social structure, so everything that Mexican people do are basically through family. Mexican families are very traditional also. So they like to celebrate a lot of holidays such as Cinco de Mayo, or celebrate their daughter's quinceañera. And also, another traditional thing about Mexican families are that the fathers are usually the head of the family, so they usually make all the decisions. Okay, so another thing that's very important to families in Mexico is that it's part of their job to consider. It's a duty to consider the family as a job. So if they're like in trouble in like making house payments or car payments, they'll help out. Also, the extended family in Mexico are basically their close families, such as like, for example, they consider extended families such as aunts, uncles, cousins, but also close friends can also be considered I might just make that up, so let's just go next one. And I'll pass it on to Flora.
Thank you. So I'll just be talking about some etiquettes, or just like things that you have to keep in mind when having personal interactions with Mexicans. And that's Mexicans are very affectionate, and they're more open to having conversations. Also, kisses and hugs are common, and if they like you, they may keep a grip on you when they're shaking your hand. As he mentioned earlier, family is very important, so when they're having a conversation, that's something that they tend to talk about, and they expect you to do the same if you want to build like a strong connection with them. Relationships are usually fast. They want to build one immediately, and they always move faster than Americans when building relationships and trust, and it's very important to gain their trust. They also are not very time driven, which means that they are always late, or they're always on a rush because they lost track of time. And that's just something that you have to keep in mind when setting like appointments, which we'll later talk into on our next slide. And we'll talk more about the corporate culture.
Okay, the corporate culture of Mexico, basically the language of business there is Spanish. So if you don't know Spanish in Mexico, you will basically need to get a translator or an interpreter to translate everything they have to say, and what you just say also. And also in Mexico, it's to get a negotiation or a deal done, it will have to actually take time, such as Saudi Arabia, where it takes time in a relationship to build. And also Turkey says that also. Yeah, it'll take a lot of trustworthiness, sincerity, and integrity. So you can't just, it's not like America where they do everything fast and just try to get over with. And also, Mexicans are very status concentrals. Like Flo said, that they use titles for their names. So if you're talking to your physician and you're not familiar with them, you can actually call them doctor, or your professor. If you're a teacher, you can actually call them professor, or you're a lawyer, you can say abogado. Okay, and for the business dress code. Men usually wear conservative dark suits with usually a tie, like in this picture. They are wearing really dark suits, and also women usually wear conservative dresses where it's not really showing too much of the arms. Like everything in this picture, they're really pretty much covered under the waist up, but they also wear conservative skirts too, but nothing over the knee. And I will pass it on to Austin.
All right, so another good Austin analysis. I'll probably stick these. I've got the US up there to just kind of a base frame of reference. So power distance deals with the fact that all individuals in society are not equal, and it expresses the attitude of the cultures towards these inequalities. With Mexico being such a hierarchical society, it's obvious why they have such a high rate. And individualism refers to the degree that individuals integrate into groups. And like with Mexico, their close family members aren't necessarily considered in that, but they consider their extended family, cousins, uncles, aunts, just as close as their close families, so they don't have a very high individualism rate compared to the United States. And masculinity refers to distribution power, the roles of genders. And so the males dominate a significant portion of the society and power structure. This situation leads to a female population that is a lot more assertive and competitive. Long-term orientation describes how every society must maintain their past, but still trying to deal with the issues that are at hand today. And Mexico does that with having great respect for traditions, relatively small propensity to save for the future, and a focus on achieving quick results. And indulgence is defined as the extent to which people control their desires and impulses. Mexico, 97, it's actually by far the highest rating in the world for indulgence. But yeah, they make possessing a tendency towards optimism and making leisure time a priority. All right, so as far as the social aspect goes, they want to get to know you before they really do business. If you do get invited out to a social gathering, whether it be a home or a business dinner, it is crucial to attend. You need to secure that relationship. And if invited to their home, Flora kind of talked on that earlier, they put zero emphasis on time. Everybody kind of runs on their own time clock. They say anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours is acceptable in their culture, as more of like a casual get-together at their home or something. In a business meeting, you be on time, but don't be upset if they're an hour late. And bring flowers. I would avoid yellow. Yellow in their culture, or yellow flowers, is associated with death. So maybe like a red or white, something of that nature. And after you finish eating, it's polite to leave some food on the plate. If you absolutely clean your plate, you could give the host the perception that maybe she didn't feed you enough, and there could be you wanted more. So. And after eating, they're a very social people. You want to sit there, engage in conversation, really try to secure that relationship. And I'm going to pass it on to Flora. She's going to talk to you about maybe some safety concerns while traveling to Mexico.
Okay, so some of the things that you have to keep in mind when going to Mexico is that some states are off limits. Doesn't necessarily mean that you can't go, but they're too dangerous to go without any precautions. So among the most dangerous are Baja California, which has the highest rates of homicides, and also Chihuahua, Durango, Chiapas, and Coahuila, and that's it has one of the most dangerous highways, and that's due because there's no like tolls here. We have them, and so you have to pay like a quota when you travel on these roads. So traveling between states can be very, very dangerous. So in the highway between Piedras Negras and Nuevo Ladero, you can see a lot of like criminal activity. So like I've actually been there, and you actually see when you're like stopping on a like traffic light, people hide up like in bushes and they'll like throw rocks. So you stop. Oh, sorry. So you stop and you can they'll like either steal your car or steal your belongings. And Chihuahua is home to one of the very known prisons, so it's a hot spot for criminal activity and criminal organizations, and also Durango, which is like if you listen to their very known music, it's all about like trafficking, drug cartels and stuff like that. So that's very prone there. As I said before, I've been to all these places, so it's not completely off limits. It's that you just have to be very precautious when going to them. Okay, and then I'll pass it on to
All right, so let's speak about Mexico and NAFTA and what's currently going on, what could happen to the NAFTA agreement. So NAFTA is an agreement between Mexico, Canada, and the United States, and it's pretty much made to encourage trade in between and stimulate business investments between the three countries, and to not deter any of that. And so last year is estimated a little bit more than $1.3 trillion in trade between those three countries. And so the proposition that Trump has is he wants them to kind of conform to whatever he wants the agreement to be. And if they don't want to conform with it, he'll just want to completely leave NAFTA. If America left NAFTA, it'll pretty much be the end of the agreement. So it could just maybe it'll just do the opposite of what the agreement was made to do, and stimulate growth and investment between countries. They'll want to keep their businesses. Mexico has about 122,000 employees from Mexican-owned businesses that operate in America. So it could possibly deter some of those companies from adding more jobs or bringing those jobs back to Mexico. And just from the trade agreement and between the three countries, there's estimated around 5 million jobs in America that are supported by trade. And that could damper those amounts. And Mexico going into the future. So this picture says made in Mexico or Hecho in Mexico. A lot of people might know that phrase. And BMW, I'm sure most of you know, it's a German automobile. And they're building a plant in Mexico. There's also many American auto industries, auto companies that want to go to Mexico. Ford, Chrysler, they're all currently building plants, and there's already 18 plants in Mexico. Right now there's about 5 under construction, and then on top of that there's many more that are proposed, but are maybe after this election and after the Trump, some American companies may not end up pursuing going to Mexico, building more plants. The Maquiladoras, it's a Mexican assembly plant, and that's a big part of the Mexican industry that they have going for them, is where they import parts and they just assemble it together and then they export it. And it was about 15% growth between last year in their production, their output. And I put a question here: is will companies continue heading south? And I just wanted to ask that. What do some of you think about the future? Because Mexico is very important to American businesses, and maybe a lot of people don't realize it, how much goes on in Mexico, how much has to do with us here in America, especially here in Texas. So, does anybody have any ideas about what the future is going to go? Is it going to be growthful, or are they going to recede?
Well, like you said, we're waiting for Trump.
Yeah, the way that Trump is going, I don't think so.
Why don't you, let's not open it up for that. Why don't you just go on with your presentation?
All right.